The Simsbury Board of Education regular meeting of May 22nd to order. It is so nice to have a full house. Thank you all for coming. It's really exciting, and we will start off with all of you and our recognitions.
Great. Thank you very much. And as we come to the close of the year, we do kind of bundle these things together, but it's always great energy to recognize both accomplishments of some of our staff members and then, of course, our wonderful students. So I am going to start things off this evening by honoring our Educator of the Year, who just came in the back of the room, who really can't stand attention. So when she walked in and saw a full room, she's ready. I know. But let me give a little bit of a background on the award, and I promise I'll be brief. But the Chamber of Commerce every year honors an Educator of the Year in our community, as well as a Business Person of the Year. So our Board of Education has an opportunity to really take a look at our very talented staff and recognize different individuals for their accomplishments. So this year, our selection was Marianne Lindquist, who is in the back of the room, who is a first grade teacher at Latimer Lane School. So Marianne is retiring at the end of this year after 40 years of service in the Simsbury Public Schools. So. 39.
Oh, wow. You have to stay.
Calling him out.
40 sounds good. Come back for one
Do
more.
one more year.
Said to me, why don't you stay 40 years so you could say you taught 40? I'm like, I'm good. Ironically,
You're just rounding up. It's
Ironically,
okay.
it keeps saying 40 years, and I'm like, wow, I'm getting the credit. I never But thank you. I'm truly, truly honored, and I have to say that this has just been the most wonderful 39 years of my career, actually my whole career, not counting friendlies. It's Simsbury does it right. They just do it right. It's the finest school system in the state of Connecticut, in my opinion, and I've had an opportunity to be hear from other school systems and other districts and other teachers. And I'm just honored to have been a part of it, and I thank you very much for this award, which I accept on behalf of every other wonderful educator in Simsbury.
Very nice. So like Marianne, she does, she's talking about us, turning it on us, because she's truly wonderful. But let me say a couple things.
She did try to
She did.
stop.
She tried to stop me.
Right off
So
my
39 years, and then it's 38 in first grade, right? So 38 years in first grade. And if you've ever had a chance to go to Marianne's room, you sit down at the little table in the back, in the little chairs, and you can just feel the incredible energy, and you did it right. So 39 years in and of itself demonstrates incredible commitment and dedication, but to put in that kind of time, Marianne, and do it the way you did it, with your positive nature, with your dedication to lifelong learning, I mean, nobody deserves this more than you, and you are a gem. You're truly a legend. And as superintendent of the school system, we talk a lot about making sure we find the most talented staff to serve our kids. So when one of our greats retire, we're left with the responsibility to try to fill those shoes. And I know you're going to find a way to continue working with kids and spreading your message. So thank you so much. We get to go to a luncheon later in the week, which will be a lot of fun. And I couldn't thank you enough in the board as well. So thank you very much.
Thank you very, very much.
And it's because of our wonderful administration and wonderful people to work with at the top of my list. My principal, Michael Thank you, and my colleague, Jamie. Thank you so much.
All right, great. Have a wonderful night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
All righty. We are going to move right on to our CABE Student Leadership Awards. So we have 2 students at the high school level, 2 students at the middle school level. And the CABE Leadership Award program is designed to honor both high school and middle school students who exhibit exemplary leadership skills. So I have Anjanette Belmonte here from the middle school, our assistant principal, and she is going to introduce and talk a little bit about our 2 students. And then we have a nice certificate for them from the Board of Ed.
Absolutely. So on behalf of Mr. White and myself and our whole Henry James community, we are very proud to announce that Sophia Hanna is our female 8th grade student who is the recipient of the CABE Award. Sophia was nominated by her team of teachers, and then the entire faculty took part in the process. And really just what stands out for Sophia is the fact that they say she is just a true leader. She's very interested in her learning. She pushes herself and her peers to always do their best. She works with students despite all the differences that are in the classroom, and she continues to push herself and others. She is an avid member of our United Sound. She's part of the Wind Ensemble, and most importantly, she sits in on our Principal Advisory Committee, where every month she's able to share not only her thoughts and her opinions, but represents those of her peers as well to make excellent contributions to our Henry James Society. So we're very proud of Sophia. And up front we have Alex Vargas, who's accompanied by his parents as well. And a lot of those same traits ring true for Alex. Again, just someone who is so passionate about his work, his education, promoting the successes of the peers around him, and just never giving up on a challenge. He takes incredible risks, as all of his teachers have shared. And what we love about him is that he had a lead role in our play this year, the musical Aladdin. He's also a part of the Principal Advisory Group, and he's also a member of our Unified Theater. So he is truly supportive, not only in the classroom, but within the school community as well. So we're just so proud of both of these amazing kids.
Coming up, please.
Right.
We are so proud of you, and we thank you so much for all you do. We look forward to seeing what comes next, and congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And you get this fabulous, beautiful, I'll show you all, award. You can hang it up on your wall with many more to come. Congratulations.
Thank you, Anjanette. We have Andy O'Brien, high school principal, to introduce our high school students.
Okay, so that would be our CABE
Yes.
award winners?
Correct.
I had to specify because
You have quite a
it's
few,
like
yes.
the who's who of the class of 2018 tonight. We have 6 different seniors that we are recognizing, so just outstanding. And I know we're heading into the awards season. We'll have Simsbury Scholars, and then we'll have our other scholarship nights and other things where you will no doubt see more of these students. But tonight is really pretty special. So our CABE Student Leadership Awards go to our 2 Board of Education representatives, so Isabel Dorman and Dylan Fitch. So I will say a couple of words. There's Dylan over there. So I have some remarks here regarding Isabel from Ms. McNeil, your counselor. And this is what she had to say. She said that Isabel is an engaging, enthusiastic, and caring young woman. Isabel Dorman is a leader within the high school and greater Simsbury community. She possesses an impressive list of extracurricular activities that represent her passions and commitments to others, ranging from being a teen leader at her church, the Covenant Presbyterian Church, participating in Unified Theater, being a volunteer at Simsbury Public Library, and a top soccer mentor. She's poised, articulate, highly motivated young woman. Isabel has a unique love of languages and has been a dual world language student all 4 years at Simsbury High School, distinguishing herself in French and in Latin. Her incredible work ethic, willingness to take on challenges, and commitment to school and others is remarkable, and she's extremely deserving of this award. So, ladies and gentlemen, Isabel Dorman. So then on to Dylan. You had a chance to work with Dylan earlier this year, first semester. I was sitting at the board with you, and I have some remarks from Ms. Garza, and then also a couple of my own observations of Dylan. Ms. Garza says Dylan Fitch is a creative problem solver who is eager to tackle the challenges he sees all around him. He's comfortable with any group in any setting. He is an excellent communicator. He's always prepared and ready to lead. He's been an accomplished AP student and a talented musician and a practiced listener. He's truly looking forward to continuing his work with a career in public service. Last night I had a chance to see Dylan receive the Elmer Vincent Award for his work on the Simsbury golf team, and he was also one of the leading members of the winning Battle of the Bands band, which is known as Funky Fitch and the Space Whale. So we should give it up for Dylan. Congratulations.
Come on. You can stand up. Being that we all here have all gotten to know you both, and we are so proud of you, and we have enjoyed all of the input you've been able to give our board, very sound and reasonable and helpful to all of us, and we look forward to great things coming from you. As high school kids, I would love to hear a little bit, if you'd like to tell everyone what your plans are for next year.
Well, next year I will be attending Vanderbilt University, and I'm planning on majoring in secondary education.
And next year, I will be going to the University of Maryland, College Park, to major in communications and possibly go into marketing.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Congratulations.
From Dylan?
All right, next up, we have Connecticut Association of School Scholar Athletes.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Nice.
All right, this is a pretty special award, especially coming from a school like Simsbury High School with so many incredible athletes and so many students that are just outstanding in the classroom and scholarly. This is a very special award. These two students that I'm going to present to you, each of them have a GPA that is over a 4.0, and they have earned multiple varsity letters. So the first student is Elise Hildebrand. Elise has earned 10 varsity letters, 4 years of cross country, 4 years of ice hockey, and 2 years of track. In the community, she's been incredibly active. She was a community volunteer where she worked at an assisted living center and logged a significant number of hours working on a memory retention program. She's been a Special Olympics volunteer, and in the summer she's interned as a swim instructor or a lifeguard. So, Elise, congratulations to you.
Can you have me stand up?
Sure.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Nick Ratajczyk. Nick has earned 6 varsity letters, 3 years in tennis, 3 years playing soccer. He's served as a counselor and training program for kids with disabilities. He's also been a top soccer mentor as well for students with disabilities, and recently participated in a program called Cycle Out Cancer. So not only a gifted athlete, but sharing those gifts in the community and really reaching out to students in need. So, Nick, thank you very much, and congratulations.
And we also have Connecticut Association of Schools Art
And music.
and Music Board.
So we'll start with art and Grace Oliver. Grace, if you could just stand for a second. Bless you. So Ms. Ciciat has some remarks here for you, Grace. She says that Grace Oliver defines what it means to be passionate, dedicated, and perseverant. Grace has spent countless hours over the past 4 years developing skills, building a portfolio, and finding an artistic voice. Grace has taken the majority of the art classes offered at Simsbury High School, as well as participating in summer courses at the Rhode Island School of Design and the Art Center College of Design. This year, Grace received a Connecticut Scholastics Gold Key Portfolio Award, which is outstanding. It's Grace's dream to study entertainment design at the Art Center College for Design. So congratulations, Grace. And in the area of music, we have Maria Hodson. Maria. So a number of interesting accomplishments from Maria. She has participated in the community in efforts to raise money for Loaves and Fishes Soup Kitchen as a member of the SHS Holiday Cabaret. She's been an outstanding violinist, soloing with the SHS Freshman Orchestra and the Chamber Orchestras. She was selected to perform as part of the Honors Performance Series at Carnegie Hall twice. Wow. She's also a performing member of the Simsbury Singers. And this is what Ms. Thompson had to say about Maria. She said, Maria has been one of the most dependable members of the music department. She's always the first student I ask if I need a solo violinist to accompany the choir, because she will arrive at every rehearsal prepared and play beautifully in performance. She is a true triple threat, a successful singer, dancer, and violinist. She will be remembered for many years to come at Simsbury High School.
Before we transition to talking about our framed artwork and honoring our artists, I would just like to congratulate those students that were honored today. I'm always amazed at the depth of the ability of the students we have. You make us so proud, and you are the reason we are so successful as a school system. So thank you for coming out tonight. I know it's an extremely busy time of the year for everybody, but we wanted to demonstrate our thanks for you. And
I also would like to say thank you so much, but it's so wonderful to see that you have such a broad spectrum of understanding that your community is more than just your high school. It's where you live, it's where you started, and I hope that you always keep that with you as you move forward and find new communities to be part of. But thank you all, and congratulations.
one more round of applause.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes, we are releasing as they go.
Yes, it's fine. Yeah. There you go. Have a good night.
Congratulations.
Mike is first up.
Okay, just give me the sign.
The veteran leadership of Mike Goman to get this artwork off to them.
What's that?
Need your veteran leadership to start with the artwork.
Yeah, that's right.
I hope your expectations are low.
I'd just like to know where
We started over.
Well, John, may go.
Yeah, go to the art.
Sure.
Yes.
like, once we made the turn, I was thinking it was right here.
This is,
She's the art.
as a Board of Ed member, I can tell you that after 16 years on the Board of Ed, this is a great evening. The recognition evening is always fun. Usually, we're dealing with budgets, or we're dealing with, like, later tonight, if you want to stay and listen, we're doing a second policy reading for a policy.
It'll be fun.
By the way, the price of admission, if they didn't tell you on the way in, is that you are required now to come back and attend a budget meeting. But no, this is a great time, and it's always fun to be part of doing the recognition of the arts awards, the Art Achievement Awards. So I've got two that I need to present. The first one, and I hope I pronounce your last name correctly, but it's Julia Sika. Is Julia here? Did I get your name right? Okay. Yeah, could you come up and just go over to your art? I think it's over in the corner here, right by the door, I mean. So you're talking to somebody that has no artistic capability whatsoever. So maybe you could just talk a little bit about what inspired you for this?
Honestly, I don't really know.
So I feel much better.
Yeah, as I was making it, it just
Just
kind
look
of
cool.
flowed on me everywhere.
Good, good. Do you plan to stay with art through your high school career?
Definitely, yeah, it's something I love and cherish, so.
Well, that's good. We appreciate the efforts, and we have this Art Achievement Award we want to give to you in recognition of that. Hopefully, we'll see your artwork up here again. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And my next recipient is Laura Hinojosa Silva. Laura? You're here, good, good. Do you want to, I think you're?
Right here.
Right here, right? Good. Wow. So again, treat it as if it's reality. I have no idea what I'm looking at. Tell me what you were thinking about.
It's a self-portrait inspired by Frida Kahlo's own self-portrait.
Good, good. And you're a senior, right?
No, I'm a junior.
Or you're a junior, okay. So you have one more year. You're going to stay with art through that? Do you have plans beyond college, or beyond high school rather, that involve artwork?
I'm
Not sure yet?
thinking about minoring in fine arts.
Good,
I'm not
good.
sure.
Well, you're off to a good start. That's great. Thank you very much. And let me see if we can get somewhere where we can get a picture. Maybe I can even stand to one side of it. We can get your work in between.
Excellent.
All set? Well, congratulations.
As Mrs. Gagne has come in from the hall, is there anything you would like to share with us?
I just wanted to say thank you so much to the Board of Ed for supporting the fine arts in this community.
Godspeed and congratulations to all the artists. You've started your resume since kindergarten now, all the way up to note your achievements for being selected by your art teacher because they could only pick one person from the grade level, and that is you. And this work will be here as a celebration of your efforts and achievements. And so thank you and congratulations, and thank you so much.
All right, so then I'm next. Is Joanna here? Joanna McElvain?
She's not.
No. All right, well, not that I can talk about her artwork, but it's right here, and we're very excited. We love getting the new artwork up here. It keeps us on our toes. So we will have a certificate. Would you
Yes,
like
I
it?
can take it. Yes, thank
I'm
you.
sure she gets that.
Thank you so
very much. And then is Evan here? You and I walked in together. How lucky was that? You want to come on over here by your artwork? You moved right past me. This is fabulous, Evan. Do you want to tell us about it?
Well, we had to make a collage, and I love the ocean, so I made mine based off the ocean.
It's fantastic. Is that a treasure maybe in there? Yeah. I love it. You did a fabulous job, and thank you. I get to sit by your artwork every week. So thank you so much. Cool. Do that one. There we go. Now we got it. Wait.
Picture
Let
for your
Mom
mom.
take a picture.
Yeah,
All
perfect.
right, nice job.
Congratulations.
All right, nice job, buddy.
Yeah, all right. I have the great pleasure of being able to, come on over, Sam, have Miss Samantha Sinacori, and her piece of art, and we'd love to hear a little bit about it, please.
We had to draw some fashion models. So we started with drawing the models and then drawing the clothes on top. And the fashion class was so inspirational, like the class itself. We have so many things that like inspire us what to create. So, and Miss Kanye too.
And this is a new class?
Mm-hmm.
Brand new, so this is wonderful. So we're going to art and fashion design, perfect.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Photo. Oh, your mom. There we go. Okay. Congratulations. And I have Kelly Gustfield. Kelly Gutsfield. Come tell me about your beautiful bird.
We had to draw like a bird and filled in with designs. And I like the eagle, so
It's wonderful. And the background is separate.
watercolor.
Wonderful. Well, it's great. Congratulations. Get pictures of all you guys.
So, despite what everybody might think, not every single minute of every single meeting is riveting. So, in those moments that maybe have a little extra time, we get to look at all these pictures, which is great. It just livens up the room. We don't really see what's behind us, but when we watch it on TV, we see it. So, we love having this here. And I'm so lucky because I get the youngest artists in the room. Can I have Jackson? Is it Skane. Come on up, Jackson. So this is Jackson's picture. You want to tell us about it? No? You know what? My favorite season is autumn. When I saw that when I came in, I thought of autumn and the pumpkins and the leaves and how wonderful it smells, and that's what I'm going to think of every time I see that. So thank you so much. Jackson is in kindergarten. Jackson, I have a certificate for you. You want a picture? Yeah. Oh, yes, I want a picture too. Okay, thank you so much.
Can you meeting so Todd can be this animated?
Okay, next is Josephine Naples from Central, grade 1. Okay, come on up, Josephine. So this is Josephine's picture. You want to tell us about it? I'll tell you what I love about it. Because I see this and the flowers, and now I'm thinking of spring. Autumn, spring, and it just makes me think about school being out, going out to play, and I love this. And the stars. This is so great. So thank you very much. And I have a certificate for you too. There you go.
Oh, that's great.
Oh, wait, get a nice picture.
Take a picture of Bob?
Yeah.
Hold on, stay up there a
you so
second.
much.
Wait, just say, 1 minute. We have one more picture just to take for.
Everybody wants pictures of us.
Keep it, you take the rest, keep it. Okay, now it's my turn. All right, so, this is going to come over. So I am all the way down this end of the room, and so I am here. Now, I have the honor of giving the award certificate to Jeffrey Ron Peckman. Is Jeffrey here? Okay, Jeffrey is not here. So, in his absence, Todd, since you were so eloquently described what you thought of those two framed artwork, what would you think of this one?
That brings me to the zoo. The animals, I love it. That's, yeah.
For those of us that artistically challenged ourselves, and since Todd started off at the zoo, one might say it's a cat, it has spots, could be a leopard, cheetah, cougar, panther, bobcat, what have you. It's always in the eyes of the beholder. Could be zoo, could be out in the forest or in the wild. So anyway, Jeffrey is not here unfortunately, but now that we have all described his painting, someday he will tell us what it is. Jeffrey is in grade 3, and he's a student at Latimer Lane, and his art teacher is Mrs. Olivia. So we will give this lovely award to Jeffrey on behalf of the Board of Education. The next one I have is Cara Musser. Is Cara here? There you are. Am I pronouncing your name correctly? Yes. Okay, Cora. Come on over here, Christine. All right. So, Cora, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? Turn this way.
About myself?
Sure, about what grade and school.
I'm in 6th grade and I go to Squadron 9. And I just moved here this year. This is my first time doing the art class here, and I'm really happy with the teachers, and I really like how they let me do whatever I kind of want to the artwork. And
wonderful. And can you describe a little bit more about your beautiful artwork here?
Well, these are kind of like one of my favorite flowers, and I thought these colors kind of went really well together, so I just chose these two for 4 colors.
Beautiful. Well, I'll tell you a secret. I have a lot of daisies in my garden, and they are one of my favorite flowers too. So I'm very honored to be able to present this lovely certificate to you, Cora. So here you are. Here is your Art Achievement Award, and congratulations, and keep on painting and drawing. So great. Thank you.
My turn. So, I am new too and have never done this. So we will call Andrew Gatton.
Where's our time, Jen?
Andrew, is that your achievement? Can you tell me a little about it?
Blended in some colors to colors.
Beautiful. That's great. Did you do that with a real leaf? Background with real leaves too? I like it. Perfect. Very good. Well, we are very proud of you, and we want to present you with an award today. And thank you so much for your artwork. Thank you very much. And then I have the honor of last doing McKenna Brown. So I personally love that, but why don't you tell me a little about it first?
It's a digital piece of art, so I did this on a computer, and I like doing this because I got to play with the design, but I didn't draw it. But yeah, it's just showing that I have a favorite piece that we were doing.
I was gonna say you look a little afraid.
Yeah, we were doing what we were afraid of.
Okay.
Trying to capture it in the moment.
Well, you captured.
You were very successful.
Well, thank you so much, and here is your award, and thank you for coming today. Here,
We have one other award, and unfortunately, Grace Rodner was not available, but the painting is right over there. Could you tell me a little bit about it, Mrs. Lemke?
Oh, I was looking at Gagne.
Oh, Mrs. Gagne, someone? She is a Terrafil fifth grader, Grace.
It's a black and white marker drawing, creating what's it called, referred to as op art, so optical illusion, so it appears that the hand is three-dimensional when in actuality it's on a two-dimensional surface, and there's some pencil shading, and it's very, very, very nice and accomplished.
It was very successful. It
Very
really
successful
does
piece. Yeah.
look like the hand's sitting there. It's wonderful. So thank you very much to Grace. Sorry you couldn't be here, but we will get your certificate to you. And moving on.
We are done with those. So I
We're
think
done with the
we're
board.
set with
Thank you
Greg.
all very much for coming.
Really appreciate you coming out.
And you are
Thank
welcome to stay, but if you would like to celebrate at home, you're welcome to do that too.
go ahead. No, go ahead.
Thank you.
Taryn, you want to give that to
Thanks. Have a good day.
Oh my God, you can stand it. Oh, wonderful. Thank you so much.
See you, buddy.
That's great.
See you around.
Hey.
Oh, isn't she the best?
I'll see you at the end.
We are so lucky. Thank you. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, just Hi.
Do you want to stay for the whole meeting?
Then go back.
Yes, that's the answer.
That is the scariest picture ever. The bees.
She did capture the fear.
Oh,
I like
it does
the fear.
exactly what she wanted it to.
Yeah, most definitely.
She should give out awards more often. People know.
But look how quickly
It's
they
very
went.
nice. Award. Then they go. That's right. Do it at the end. I'm sure those kindergartners might not have made it to the end. Some adults don't make it to the end. Those kindergartners might not.
Your little evil genius going there.
Well, getting back.
More awards during the budget meeting.
Exactly. Where did Lydia go? Oh, getting back to our meeting, we'll get it back on board now that we've had our wonderful our recognitions of all of our
Gotta
talented
keep that
students.
energy up, Todd.
And we can move on to board and administrative communications.
All right. Hi, everyone, or who's left. All right. So this past weekend was the Relay for Life event in Farmington, and Tooten Hills School had an amazing support for this great cause, as they had 3 student teams as well as the Tooten Hills teacher team participating in this event. So at last count, $11,466 was raised by the 4 teams. I'm bad at numbers. So congratulations to all teams on their wonderful accomplishment. Many of the elementary schools will be going to Camp Jewel in the coming weeks, so I'm wishing them off, and I hope they have a lot of fun. The HCMS Art Show and Cabaret Night is this Wednesday, May 23rd, from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. in the gym at Henry James. So please join them to see the wonderful art projects students have reworked on throughout the year. There will be a scavenger hunt with the top 10 winners receiving a piece of pottery from demonstrations from our visiting artist, Vincent Garcia. And there will also be music and refreshments in the cafeteria. Bring family and friends. Okay, also, a big congrats to all of the musicians, both from elementary schools as well as Henry James, who have participated in their band, orchestra, and chorus concerts during the past couple of weeks. Also at the high school, the annual art show will take place next week on Tuesday from 6 to 8 p.m., Wednesday from 7:30 a.m. to 8:30 p.m., and Thursday from 7:30 a.m. to 12 p.m. in the gym. Come see the great work done by SHS artists throughout the year. Congrats to the seniors who participated in the Poetry Slam earlier this morning. We have a lot of very talented poets at SHS. This is a fun week ahead for seniors at SHS. Tomorrow is senior outing to High Meadow and Granby. On Friday, there will be a trip to Lake Compounds for physics students. And next Friday, June 1st, is the senior prom at the Riverview. Also, the junior prom was this past weekend, and it was a success as well. So, yeah.
That's great. In my fabulous report and a very full docket of events and things happening everywhere. Appreciate all your efforts to get that to us. I jumped the gun and I did not offer public audience, and we do still have public here. So if anyone of the public would like to speak, then I'm still in the right. All right, we're still okay. Jen?
I have nothing, thank you.
Lydia?
Yeah, briefly, I attended the legislative wrap-up at the LOB this last Tuesday. Also, Tom Frank attended, and Neil Sullivan. So briefly, it was just what happened this past year. As you know, it was quite an interesting legislative year. But just in a nutshell, the restored funds were for TEAM and the ECS aid. The regional education service centers have a reduction, which includes CREC in that one. More to come on that. Some of the other highlights, which you might be interested, is just a lot of the acts concerning the revisions and additions to the education statutes. Some are opioid use, technical education career, safe haven, Medicaid, chronic absenteeism, and of course another task force to study high school interscholastic athletic programs. So those were those areas in there. One other area was an act concerning the inclusion of the Holocaust and genocide and the awareness of the social studies curriculum, which you've all been reading about and heard about. So that is something that has also been passed. And classroom safety and disruptive behavior. So these are the areas that the governor will be signing all of these bills as they have come forward. And the other continuing area is the task forces. There are 6 continued task forces. Yours truly is on one of these task forces. I wish I could really tell you which one it is and what we've done, but we haven't because we haven't even met all year. So that is one of the areas in the task forces. They will put people on these, ranging in the education spheres, but they have not met. So hopefully, come the end of 2018 and the beginning of 19, we'll at least have a meeting or something to bring forward, because these task forces were set up via the legislature to produce some positive change within school districts and education. So that's what is going on between the legislative wrap-up and some of the acts and some of the bills that were passed. If you're interested in watching the whole 2-hour segment, it's filmed by CTN, so it has it on there if there's something in particular that interests you, and I'm sure Neil will talk a little bit more about.
I wouldn't recommend the 2-hour show.
if you are so inclined. But we'll be sending you more information via CABE about some of the final acts and bills and statutes that have been passed and how it's going to affect the school districts come July 1st and October 1st. And before you know it, we'll be starting the year all over again. So that's it for me.
Thank you. Todd?
Nothing.
Nothing tonight, thanks.
All good. Mrs. Lemke.
Just wanted to share that last evening, the Henry James Middle School had a wonderful unified theater performance around Dreams Do Come True. Unified, just to remind the board, it's when students, both with and without disabilities, come together, develop their own unique production, and then put it on. And they did an incredible job once again. My daughter kept on looking at me going, "Are you crying yet, Mom? Are you crying yet, Mom?" Because she knows I cry at every single unified theater production because they are just that wonderful. So.
And they had to transition because they were postponed.
That's correct.
So they were even better off. That's wonderful.
Yes. So it was a great evening.
Thank Lydia for covering the legislative update. It's very interesting that meeting happens in our cycle, just as a year later, we're passing the policy that came out of it from the year before. It's almost a complete one-year cycle that results in that. And Burke's going to make some other comments about school safety, which is on all of our minds, but I will remind the board that our security consultant, Don Chomet, who we've contracted with for earlier in the year for Simsbury High School and Squadron Line, is returning to Simsbury after Memorial Day and will be at Henry James and Latimer Lane next week. So we will get his assessments of those two schools over the summer, and we're grateful for that.
Thanks, Neil. So I actually want to just highlight for the board 2 of our capital projects that were approved at referendum, the Henry James project and the school security projects, capital projects, where monies will be available July 1st, but there's work that we're starting out to be prepared with the Henry James project. At your next meeting, we'll be bringing forward the educational specifications that we're working on with the architects, and that's part of the process of the grant, where we have to have approved educational specifications for that project. Also, we'll be working with the Board of Selectmen to request certain actions that they need to take, such as to authorize the Board of Ed to apply for that state grant, as well as to refer the project to the Public Building Committee of the town. In terms of schools, security improvements, starting this week, in fact Thursday, I'll be meeting with our vendor that has the state contract for all of our exterior door locks and the fobs and that software. That's one of our top goals, is to get all 7 schools to have the current state-of-the-art software and hardware, and we'll be looking to try to get some dates from them that they can hopefully start that work. Also, we're preparing bid specifications for window security film to go out to bid. And then lastly, we're looking to meet with some potential vendors for window screens. So I just want to let the board know there's a lot of work going into getting ready to utilize those new funds.
Thank you very much. Matt? This art is just so impressive, and the work that our schools do on so many levels, it's so much fun this time of year when you can see all of it come to kind of conclusion. So I'm just very thankful for our artists. We sit here and we have the good fortune of having some great volunteers who videotape us every week, and I am happy to be able to make note that Mr. and Mrs. Noble, because that's what I've always known them as, and Mrs. Noble was my teacher, so it's very hard for me to know her as her first name in my 5th grade at Central School. Miss Chris Noble won a 60 over 60 volunteer award for her outstanding volunteer and her efforts and her community service recently. I just wanted to make mention of her because she can sit in the back right now and cringe. But we're very thankful for them to be here and take care of us every week, because it's important that this happens. And I think that's all I have. So we will move on to the approvals of minutes of May 8th meeting, the executive session meeting. We have 2 meetings on that date. The first one will be the executive session.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you, Sue. All those in favor?
Aye.
I'm sorry, any discussion?
Oh, abstain.
I'll abstain.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And 2 abstentions. Thank you very much. The approval of the minutes of May 8th for the regular meeting. Anyone have anything to say? Any motion?
So moved.
Thank you. Any second?
A second?
Any questions, comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Excellent.
Abstain.
Abstaining. Thank you very much. And moving on to personnel.
Yeah, 3 items for the board's action tonight. We had a presentation at our last meeting about school counseling, and then we have actions about school counselors, so I'll make some comments about that. Our first, unfortunately, is a resignation, and Carla McNeil is a new mother and very excited about that aspect of her life, and has decided that for the next several years she would like to be at home prioritizing her family. So she has resigned her position. I have told her that I really hope our professional paths will cross again when I was principal of Simsbury High School. We recruited her when she was moving to Connecticut from the Washington, D.C. area, and she's been a fabulous school counselor for us. 5 years of service before this resignation, and we wish Carla all the best with her new family. So if someone could read that motion?
Make a motion?
Move to the Board of, go ahead, Todd.
I'll move the Board of Education accept the resignation of Carla McNeil, effective June 30, 2018.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Comments? Thank you.
The good news on the counselor front is that on the first weekend that we posted a position, we had just short of 50 applications. So the pool will be deep for us to be able to replace an excellent counselor, and they're already screening through the pool to get that work done. Within there, we also have another partial counselor vacancy in another new mother, Amanda Torna-Quindisi, who is requesting under our policy 4260.3 a guaranteed leave of absence. What she is asking is to reduce her load half-time, and we would hire another counselor to kind of split the caseload with her. And it's a way that it has worked out before. It's something that we've done, so it would be just 1 year only that she would be allowed to do this, and that's how our leave policy works. So if we could have someone make that motion.
Move that the Board of Education approve the part-time .5 FTE leave of absence for Amanda Torna-Quindisi commencing August 27th, 2018 through June 30th, 2019 with a guaranteed full-time position upon her return.
Second.
Thank you very much. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
And then the last one is one of these where we have a notice of retirement, but fortunately it's 3 years down the road. And again, there is a small incentive for teachers to give us that information in advance, and really helps with our planning as we look across the district. So in this case, it is Jane Perkins, who's a wonderful grade 4 teacher at Tooten Hill School, spent many years at Central School before that. Currently 31 years of service, so it'll be 34 when she finishes in 2021. So one more motion on personnel tonight.
Someone like to make the motion?
Move that the Board of Education accept the retirement of Jane Perkins effective June 30th, 2021.
Second?
Second.
Any comments? We appreciate all her service and are glad we still have her 3 more. Vote? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Moving on to Mrs. Lemke.
So excited about this scholarship. So as you know, you approve all scholarships that come forth that are new before the board. This scholarship has been reviewed by both Mr. O'Brien and Jane Ellen Peregrine as the Director of Guidance. It really is the idea of Diana Isley, who's sitting here with us today at this Board of Ed meeting, as she has been the president of SEPTO, our special education parent-teacher organization, for the past 3 years. And since I came on board over pupil services, okay, 4, she just threw up the sign for 4, 3 in my full tenure in this role. But this scholarship is really for a graduating senior who exemplifies our values and core beliefs that we have articulated through SEPTO. The individual will be named at the awards evening, but it will start this year. It will be a $200 award, and it will continue, certainly after this year. But it's for a student who exemplifies inclusion practices and also advocates for special education peers and does some greater education even outside the high school realm, which the recipient for this year certainly meets all of those criteria. So we're very excited at the inception of this scholarship, and we would ask the board to make the motion at the bottom of the exhibit.
Move that the Board of Education approve the SEPTO Spirit Award to be dispersed beginning in 2018.
Second?
Second.
Any comments, thoughts, questions?
I think that's great. Thank you for thinking of our seniors that way.
It's wonderful. Thanks for spearheading it and making it happen. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That's great. She's like, she's so excited.
I've been wanting to do this for a long time.
Yeah.
Well,
It's
it's
great.
Thank you.
Great idea.
Thank you very much,
Congratulations.
Diane.
Yes, you can.
That some of the funds for the scholarship were raised through the coffee cart that the special education students man and staff at the high school. So it's really holistic. It comes from a really good place. So we're proud in so many ways that students are participating in this award to give to other students, and it's open for students with disabilities and without. And going forward, we don't know where this is going to go, but I'm really proud to have this award on the table.
Thank you for all your hard work. It's very exciting.
And I do just want to thank Diana because even though I couldn't convince her to stay on as president, she is going to pass the crown to someone else. But just want to thank you for your great work because it's under your leadership that we've really revitalized that collaboration. So thank you, Diana.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And leave your name and number. So we
Oh, she knows.
Yeah, she knows. Not going
You
anywhere.
all know where to find her.
Oh, that's right. We have it right here in our packet. Good catch, Todd.
You even did this yourself.
Moving on to the acceptance of gift to the Culture Enrichment Committee.
This is the third installment from our 5 elementary PTOs that we'd asked for the board's acceptance on, totaling $5,252 that helps to fund the good work of the Cultural Enrichment Committee for all of our school K-6 students.
Wonderful. Take a motion.
Move that the proposed gift of funds from all the elementary school parent-teacher organizations to provide cultural programming to elementary school students be accepted.
Second.
Any comments? Thoughts? It's a great program, and it really does bring a new dynamic to each school. It's a wonderful design. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you very much. Moving on to the approval of the fee schedule for the use of public schools. Back to you, Mr. Leclerc.
Yes, so at the last meeting, the board, we discussed the proposed fee increase. It's roughly rounded about 1.5% for next year, and we're still assuming estimated revenues of roughly $50,000 from these fees that goes to the town general fund. So if there's any specific questions about the process, I'm happy to try to answer them.
Anyone have any questions? I'd accept a motion.
Move that the fee schedule for use of public schools for 2018-19 be approved as submitted by the administration.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much. And now, back to Mrs. Lemke.
Fantastic. So on May 8th, the board had the opportunity to review some textbook proposals. One was for the UConn ECE course, and the second was for U.S. history. There have been no amendments made from the board since that time, so we would recommend that you move for the approval of these textbooks for the coming school year 18-19.
Anyone have any questions? We did have them, they ran by us. Anyone have anything they'd like to ask? I'd accept a motion.
I'll move that the board approve the textbook adoptions for the 2018-2019 school year as submitted by the administration.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you very much. Wonderful. And now we get to back onto the vision of the graduate.
Great.
An update on that new process.
So I will walk us through that. Excited to have an opportunity to talk a little bit about work that Erin actually presented a couple months ago that we were pretty excited about, both administratively and I know the board as well, as Erin handed out a little homework and a book for everybody to increase their literacy on this topic a little bit. So what I hope to do tonight, just a few things. Revisit the purpose of why we're engaging in this conversation around defining a K-12 vision of a graduate. Give you a little background again on the process. We have some product, it's like the 3 Ps, right? Some product to show a little bit today that's in the works, and then talk a little bit about next steps and where we plan to go with this, because it really has implications for our board in the fall. So when we think about the why, I think it's important to really set the foundation and get people to have a solid understanding. So when we step back and think about it, it's really about developing a shared vision that we feel will be able to better prepare our students for the world that they need to respond to. So a couple of the key things we think about, we're a district that's driven already by a vision and a set of core beliefs, but we really feel this will help us to create a more meaningful, coherent, and relevant vision for our work. One that has language that will really resonate with our kids, our staff, and our parents. So that's a key piece of this work. We talk about our continuous improvement process a lot as a district. It's something we firmly believe in. In a second slide, I'll talk about that momentarily. But we're entering our cycle of work as a board where we need to define our next iteration of Board of Education goals. And we really feel like a clear understanding of this K-12 vision of a graduate will help to guide those decisions and how we make and process those goals and those targets for us to work on for the next 5 years. It'll allow us to better leverage some of the things we already value as a district, like our professional learning communities. And most importantly, it will prepare our kids to really respond to the changes that are out there, both educationally and preparing them for college and for the workforce. We know that our economy and our global society is much more knowledge-based than it was before. We're looking to innovate at a higher level and really emphasize those kind of ideas and those kind of values. And this work is really grounded in doing that. So if you think about our continuous improvement process, we have been grounded in this for over a decade. We have operationalized this way. It has great meaning to us administratively and to our board, and has roots all the way down to the building level. So this K-12 vision of a graduate will guide those Board of Education goals, as I just described. And this visual is just a reminder of how it works throughout the system. So we have a district continuous improvement plan that then connects to school and program plans, connects to department and grade level action plans, and all the way to individual teacher professional growth plans. So there's really a nice sense of coherence in our work, but we feel that defining these kind of core competencies will bring it more alive and even give it further meaning. So just to revisit the process a little bit, Erin and I and our administrative group in central office really started to talk about this conceptually in the 16-17 year last year, and really increase our literacy around what other districts were doing in different parts of the country, and really got excited that this would be a tool that would help us to really leverage innovation, leverage work in a different way than we had in the past. So last year was really a learning opportunity for us. We brought that live starting this year with that group of 8 that Erin talked to you about. It was 8 educators, some administrators, some teachers that were involved in several professional growth sessions run by Ken Kay, who's renowned in this area of work. We then brought that work to our larger administrative council earlier in the year, expanded that to what we call our district leadership team, which includes our department supervisors. It includes our instructional coaches, people that really work with teachers on instructional improvement. And then our principals held professional development sessions in April, where actually all of our certified staff had an opportunity to really create their own vision of a graduate, which has made this process really neat. And I remember even sitting down with Neil the first time on this, is there are tools out there technologically that allow you to create this from Ed Leadership 21 and get everybody involved in this process. So when I show you shortly what we came up with in terms of these core competencies, every certified staff member in our district had an opportunity to weigh in on this already. So when you talk about kind of grassroots and getting input and getting people involved, which is more challenging at times because of time constraints than we think, this is really an effort that people were provided to give their input.
But they wanted
and
to,
think
too.
through this. Oh yeah, it's created a lot of excitement. And now Erin is running a committee. We've talked about it. Has 35 educators. They just had their second session yesterday, which was really exciting. And if we can switch slides, Sue, I appreciate it. I just want to talk you through what the outcomes are to this point. So you see our tree there, which is our representation we're working on, and we can see how our content standards kind of are the base of that tree and the foundation of that tree. In our core competencies, you can see those listed across the top. So this was the consensus of the group and something we feel really good about, and I'll just read through them quickly. Global citizenship, collaboration, critical thinking, innovation, self-direction, and communication. Big ticket ideas that we've come up with that we really feel are competencies that we want our students to experience throughout their K-12 experience, and when they leave, have achieved outcomes in these different areas. So in terms of developing this vision of the graduate, the next step is you take each of these core competencies, and you can see critical thinking, we kind of pulled it out to the left, and you develop defining attributes. So that's what the group worked on yesterday in small groups. We're really to flush out these defining attributes. And I'm not going to read them all to you, but as you look through, we can look at the first one. An attribute of critical thinking is developing compelling questions. You can see in there that we seek and consider new information and perspectives to strengthen and comprehend and deepen our awareness. So these are things you can see really living in our district, living in our work, living in our curriculum and our assessments. So when I step back and I talk about this vision of a graduate really assisting the board in that next iteration of goals, you can start to see how we can piece this together and really get excited about these things. These have long been competencies that we valued, but haven't put it out in a way that we say to ourselves that really needs to drive our goal setting and our work. So next steps, as I said, Erin had that second session yesterday. Our administrative team was a part of it. We need to do some review, some editing of the draft. We need to work with our administrative team on that to come to final consensus. And then we need to present this and roll this out to faculty, and we think that convocation would be a really neat time to do that and build some momentum and some excitement around this work. I talked about that next iteration of the district's strategic plan and goal setting, which we will all be involved with in the fall as we roll out that process. And then we need to certainly talk about teacher capacity and how we increase our literacy around what this really means for us in the future. And that last bullet, I think, is an important one, and that it's a solid place to start. We're proud of a lot of the work we do in this district. We're involved in innovative practices in many ways already. So some of this is an alignment exercise, and a good place with any strategic plan is to really assess where you are at the moment and assess things in matter of curriculum, our teaching standards, which we evaluate our teachers on, and certainly our assessment practices. So these are some of the kind of key areas that we'll flush out over this summer as we pull administrators together once we get to the end of the year and the pace differs a little bit. And we'll be coming back in the fall with a finalized product for you. We have Martha Hogan working on this from a visual standpoint. Nobody's better. Mm-hmm. And then we will also have a working document to further define these kind of next steps and where we go. But it's work I know I'm speaking for you guys. We're excited about when you get the 35 educators in the room, when we had our district leadership team, people really understand how this work resonates and can have an impact on what we're doing for years to come.
Anyone have any questions?
I think it's really interesting that it's not just learning things.
Right.
It's more well-rounded, and I really like that about this. It's a whole person.
Directed.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mike?
Well, I'm all set. Looks good. I think it's great.
Anyone else? Isabel?
Thing.
Thank you very much. I think that's a great, it's a teaser.
It is.
So it'll be more fun in the fall.
All right.
So thanks for that. We really appreciate it. Public audience?
You got to do the second policy.
Oh, I'm sorry. You know me.
You were just trying to
Moving
skip
right
that, weren't you?
Well, we don't have to because this is a second reading.
I'm sorry.
Your bylaws call for this to come in front of the board twice before you vote. So at our June meeting, you will have an opportunity to vote on this. Process is that the policies that need revision, it really stems out of that legislative session. In the fall, CABE and the law firms, Shipman and Goodwin, put finer language to a lot of what needs to happen. And then we reorganize in the spring. I do some of the summaries. Katie helps drive the bus on the language changes that need to happen. So we had 6 this year that we talked about at the last meeting. The Truancy Policy was a response to a legislative change about not having the ability to refer to for families with service needs, and our language needed to be changed. Class size policy revision was an effort to make current practice match with policy. The student discipline revision was about trying to capture the vaping problem in our policy. It wasn't specifically mentioned in policy, while it had been mentioned in the student handbook at the high school level. We wanted to make sure board policy was catching up with that societal trend. The wellness policy was one that Aaron brought forward. It just simply hadn't been looked at in about 10 years, needed some reorganization and some finer focus on what the purpose of that group was in terms of nutrition education and wellness programming. The website compliance was in response to Office of Civil Rights complaint that we had received that said, among many things that we had to do to respond and get our website up to speed in terms of access, that we had to change our policies. So we've done that, and those were reflected. And then lastly, one that Sue Lemke needed to bring forward about gifted, which is now gifted and talented, and reflects a state definition that needed to get into, that had been revised and needed to get into our policy. So that's it out of your last, your first reading. There was one question that was generated, and Burke answered it by email that night to the board, but I did want the public to be able to know. There was a question about, in responding to the website compliance, and we had to contract with a vendor, what did that cost? And the initial contract with the vendor was $3,000 to help us deal with the OCR complaint, and the annual fee is $3,300. So we'll still do, and what we get for that $3,300 is every 5 days, the company does a scan of every page of the website and identifies any issues that have developed in the last 5 days. So that's what you get in contract with that company. So that was the only question that came out of the last meeting, but this is the purpose, if anybody has further questions, to address them tonight before you vote.
And the other thing is, being that we aren't voting tonight, go back to last month's stuff we got on the internet, through our
email,
our
Copies of the policy.
yes, the copies of the policy on the website, because they are the best way to read them, because you can see the different colors and what changed.
What changed.
It makes it much easier, and it makes a lot more sense. Makes excellent sense. So thank you very much for all that hard, diligent work.
All right.
You and your committee.
And you vote next time.
We vote next time. That will be great.
We can't wait.
And no one wants to speak to us from public audience, so I will move on to, I'd like a motion to move into executive session to discuss the evaluation of the superintendent.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Next meeting.
Thank you for coming.
Yes, thank you.
Good to see you.